Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. Well, I'm just doing a couple of quick jobs this morning. I've got a few things that I found while I was cleaning up and I thought, good time to knock them off. Probably some of you have seen an extension like this. It's used for spade bits. Now this one's had a hard life. The shank's kind of tore up. It originally came with a hex shank on the end of it, but these are designed for spade bits. The spade bit slips into the end, the hex shank goes in there and you tighten down the set screws and it locks the spade bit in. When you're drilling a 3/4 inch hole, this extension works pretty good. You have to have at least 5/8 to get this thicker part of the extension where the set screws are to go through the hole. You want to stay under an inch with this extension though, because you go much bigger than that, you start having problems. For one thing, you start chewing up the end because it slips. The other thing that happens is you'll break the set screws trying to tighten them down tight enough to keep that big drill bit in there. Then you end up with something that looks like this. This is an 1.5 inch bit, and the bit's been brazed into the extension, so it's a long 1.5 inch bit. Now, if you have to do something to get by, then by all means, do what you got to do. This is one that my dad made up, and I can see that the shank of it is all chewed up. I can see that the shank is all chewed up from having it spin in the 1/2 inch drill motor. But this is really rough on the extension. You don't get to use it much more than once with this 1.5 inch bit. Now, if that's what you want to do, by all means do it. The other thing that happens is sometimes somebody just needs a punch. And so they take this extension, put it up against whatever they want to hit, and drive on the end with a hammer. Yeah, they do that too. So this one, somebody is beaten on so hard that it no longer lets you put a bit in it. The end is totally chewed up. In order to fix this, I'm going to have to take this screwed up end and get it off of there. Get it opened up, make it so that I can stick a drill bit down in there again. To do that, I'm going to use my old friend the South Bend lathe. Like I always do, I unplug the lathe to make sure that it doesn't accidentally come on. Now if I had the interlock on it that I used to have on the tool room lathes, where if you had the chuck key out of the chuck, it went down into a pocket that had a switch at the bottom of it. That way, as long as the chuck key was in that pocket, the lathe would start. It had a little micro switch down there in the bottom. But I don't have one of those on this lathe yet. I'm just going to have to rely on the thing of turning off the lathe to make sure that everything is just the way it's supposed to be before I start it. No accidentally bumping the switch, which can happen when you got a switch like this one. Okay, now I have the part in the chuck. Now I need to mount a tool. Okay, lathes all oiled up, ready to go. Okay, with the end trimmed off, I need to bore out the center. Now the shank on the bit is 1/4 inch with 3 flats put on it. I'm going to take just the end out to 17/64. That'll give me a little bit of room in there. Okay, we're ready to drill. Now on the bore I stopped just short of the set screw so that it's supported on the back side. That way when I tighten down the set screw, it won't push it against the back wall. Goes right in there. I start the set screws in there. Make sure they're lined up on the flats. And there we go. Got a nice extension again. This is actually better than the rest of them that I had because evidently they used it as a punch long before they used it as a extension. They didn't screw up the shank on it. Runs straight and true. Let's give it a try on a piece of wood. Yeah, that's going to work just fine. Got the extension fixed. Now just take the set screws loose. Pop that drill out, put it back in the rack, and this will go back in the drill cabinet so that I've got it ready for the next time I need one. Hopefully I won't be drilling a lot of holes 1.5 feet down in. Now, just a little side note. I have damaged things like this before. This wasn't one that I did, but when you're on the job and you've only got so much time to get things done and you need to have something fixed, you use what you got. The downtime costs a lot more than this little extension or whatever other tool that you're going to break. So I fix these things, but I'm not damning anybody for damaging their tools. It's part of the job. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.